Welcome to the Path Podcast, where we will travel the lives of some bold women, from dreams to detours to destiny. She did not choose this path chose her. This is the Path Podcast. Welcome back, Path listeners, to the Path Podcast with your sister, your motivator, your confidence builder, the one who believes that purpose is bigger than obstacles. You are sitting here with your sister, Arlene. We're in the new year, 2023. This is season 3 of the Path Podcast. And let me tell you, I am so excited about making it this far. And also because it was something I know I needed to do years ago, and I sat on it. And we are here. That's the point, right? And we will be here for years to come. If you listen to the last podcast of the year, and if you haven't, please go back and check out episode 47. We talked about the path to reflect, reset, and renew. Because we all need to do that, right? Especially after all the years that we've had in the past 2 to 3 years, especially starting with 2020 and every year prior, of course. But we know a lot changed in 2020. So I do believe in every year, starting around October, really, we should reflect, reset, and renew and figure out what happened during the year. What did we do? What did we not do? And like I said, it's not to beat ourselves up for things we didn't accomplish, but we should look back at it to say why it didn't happen if we had it on our goals or some things that we said we would do. But we should always do that. And in doing that, it prepares us when we move into 2023 and in 2020 or the next year, whatever year that is. And so we can be more intentional about what we do in that next year. As I was trying to do all of that myself, I struggled. I struggled to get certain what I wanted to say to you today. And the reason why, because I am very, very intentional about what I bring on this platform, because I don't believe in just feeding you any information. I want to do what I'm supposed to be doing and giving you good content and giving you things to encourage you, inspire you, to let you see that you're not alone, to let you see others who have come through major obstacles, to say, I've done it and so can you. So I don't take it lightly anytime I come on here, even just to do solo episodes as I'm doing today. So as I was preparing and in prayer, I was struggling. I had an idea of what I wanted to talk to you about, and I still will most likely go along that line because I feel that that's where I'm being led. But it was hard. So and I'm sharing this with you because I want you to see I'm trying to be truly the authentic Arlene and to tell you my truth, because that's where we need to be going in this year if we have not gone there already. Now, I'm not saying I have not been the authentic Arlene in 2022 or years prior, but doing this podcast, I look at everybody else like we all have done. I look to see what they're doing and try to change some things up, and then wonder why I can't get certain things to look a certain way or have my subjects be a certain way. And I had to realize, okay, no, Arlene, you're doing it the way God told you to do it. So continue the way you're going. Be who you are. If y'all hear me say some words that makes no sense, be who you are, Arlene. That's just who you are. I had someone tell me, I'm in a group with a bunch of women. We call it our think tank. A few other women who are entrepreneurs out there doing their purpose. And one told me she listened to my last podcast where I started laughing to myself about me gaining weight. And I thought about it for a second, and I'm like, yeah, that's just who I am. If you really know me, or if you knew who I was or who I am, you will know I am someone who loves to laugh. I love to have fun. I'm always trying to see the brighter side of life, the lighter side of life, and have fun in doing it. I'm a joyful person. I don't like being miserable. I don't like being, I don't like anything disturbing my peace. So I love, I wonder sometimes in doing this podcast and talking about heavy topics, sometimes I wonder if I want to change it and just talk about things that just make us laugh. And I know a lot of the guests I bring on, we do laugh, of course, even after hearing some of their powerful stories. We do laugh because thankfully they came out of the situations they were in. But sometimes I kind of want to go back to just enjoying and talking to people and just laughing, because that's who I am. I'm such a fun person. I think my jokes are funny. My daughter don't think they're always funny, but I do. So just like that one. See, I bet you laughed out there, but but definitely I do enjoy just the lighter side of life, and to see anybody go through anything that's painful pains me. That's the part where I take this podcast so seriously, because I want everybody to come out of their situation so they can laugh, so they can have peace. I want that person who is going through a divorce today to know that her chapter one, if she do the work, she has to go through the pain. She has to go through it, mourning that the marriage ended. But just to know, if she just really take the time to reflect on her life, reflect on the marriage, tell the truth of what happened and what didn't happen. Tell the truth even on the parts that you didn't do yourself, and determine and then come to the place in chapter 4, chapter 5 to say, oh my God, I'm smiling again. Sometimes you're going to realize, oh my, chapter 6 looks way better than before the chapters started because of the divorce. I want women to get to that place. That's the part. I want to bring that woman who went through a divorce and who can come on here and laugh now and be her true, authentic self. That is what I had planned on talking about, was all of us walking in who we were called to be. Be authentically the person that you are, not like your sister, not like your coworker, not like the influencer you looking at on social media, but just to be who you are. Now, I love to be transparent for everybody out there. With me being authentic, that's why I shared I was struggling to bring what to talk about. I knew it was going to be around the being authentic about who we are, but I also wanted to just talk, not have you should see sometimes I have 2 or 3 sheets of paper here with a bunch of information and reading stuff, because I do a lot of my research and I like to sit down and make sure I try to bring stuff to make it fall into place. Step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this time I said, no, I'm just going to go talk and just go talk to everyone. No, hey, you have to know, Arlene, it's not that I don't have anything written down, but I'm not sitting here trying to follow any outline. I'm just here, like I said in my very first few episodes, I wanted it to be you and I sitting on the couch like girlfriends, just talking. And in doing that, all the guests I bring on, it is still just like sitting with a girlfriend talking, because I am honored that they would come on the Path podcast to share their stories with all of us, to show how they came through their obstacles or traumas or just starting businesses, like I always say. And then the therapists that we talk to, it is like sitting on a couch with a lot of them. So you will still hear a lot of all of those guests and therapists, psychiatrists, psychologists, coaches coming in and talking to us. Today, I want you to sit there with yourself and talk to and answer the question: are you truly living and walking in your true, authentic self? I think we hear the word authentic and we hear it so much that we pay it no attention. It sounds boring almost, but it's not. Because who can be you but you? No one can do it better. And again, you have to know that you serve a higher purpose than what you're giving yourself credit for. I read a quote where it said, "The most confused we ever get is when we try to convince our heads of something that we know in our hearts is a lie." That's by Karen Moaning. That is so true, because when we trying to convince our heads and our hearts don't agree with it, it's false. It's not our truth. So sometimes we are living in this world where we're trying to be one thing. I know people who have gone to law school and changed their whole career path because it wasn't serving them, who they are, who they were called to be. We've heard many people I know who have more influence in the world who have said some of those same things. So that's sometimes when we try to make ourselves be something, or we were told we needed to do certain things for some of us, but it's not who we are. So being who we are, it is very important to serving you and making you live out that life where you're satisfied with what you're doing, what you're striving for. You'll strive for it even harder. You may work harder at it. Even doing this podcast, I think it's part of my purpose, but it is a lot of work. I have to search for guests. I have to review what they're doing. I have to, do my own due diligence and research some information myself. It's not alone behind the scenes. Thankfully, I have my daughter who helps me and edit the podcast for me, but it takes some work, but it's easy. Don't get me wrong. You can do it too if that's something you're being called to do, but it just takes the time is what I'm saying. And trust me, I have so many more things that I want to work on, but I am seriously going to intentionally do this part first. And if God tells me to pivot into something else, that's my plan. Because the one thing I know I need to do is give this podcast everything I have first. And if God says to pivot, then I'll pivot. Because the one thing I have to do that I have not been doing, and the ladies in the think tank that I sit with monthly has been telling me I need to be more visible, show myself more, show the person behind the podcast. That is something I'm working on. I am not afraid to do it. It's just some things I know on the back end that I need to get in place for me to want to do it and do it in a proper way. But I still will do it. You will see me coming very, very soon, because that's what I have to do. And I plan on doing it. And I'm going to just be who Arlene is. I'm not going to be anyone else, because some people come on social media and I'm looking at them like, oh my goodness, I need to go to the salon. I need to go get my nails done. I need to go get my outfit. And no, I don't need to do all of that. I got what I need right here. And I am called to do what I am called to do. And it's going to be good. And I'm going to be satisfied with that. Now, when we talk about being our authentic selves, you have to ask yourself that question. What is stopping you? What is stopping you from living out your truth or being honest about who you are? Someone may ask, how do you know that you've become authentic or self-aware? Well, that question is not an easy question, and it's different for everybody, right? But being self-aware is getting to know yourself, allowing your behaviors to reflect those feelings without the need for external or anyone else's validation. That means stop looking at social media. Social media can't tell you who you are unless you're looking at someone who is intentional about helping you or helping people to grow and learn more about themselves. Still, I believe it comes from within, even if it's coming with you talking to a therapist or just finding that answer for yourself, because we all can do that as well. One of the main things I would want you to get is caring for yourself and being self-aware. It means caring for yourself and not looking for something outside of yourself to complete you. There is a quote by Brene Brown, and she said, "Talk to yourself like you would to someone you love." Really, I believe that is the first step to you really walking in your true authentic self. You have to start looking at this thing like you know that you know that you know that from head to toe you love who you are looking at every day. Not comparing yourself. We all definitely want to change some things, grow in some ways, but long as you're not trying to change the core of who you are. I read where someone wrote some of the traits of an authentic person, and these are just starting points, is living by your principles. That's not changing the core of who you are. Being accepting of yourself and other people, being honest, having a healthy ego, admitting and accepting your mistakes and learning from them, having a realistic perception of reality, being emotionally mature, considerate of others, setting your boundaries because we have to do that, and this main one, not feeling threatened by others and their successes. Ladies, there is no reason to look at your sister next to you and be threatened by her. We are all here. If you believe in the God I believe in, the one thing I always say, God is not broke. So if he can bless you, he can bless me. He is not broke, once again. So stop looking at others and be threatened by them. Just look at them and wish them luck while on your way to success. And while you're on your way to success and building your businesses, and mainly what we're talking about today, the true authentic self, don't forget to be kind to yourself. Take better care of yourself. Rest and meet your own needs. To feel good, you need to do things that will make yourself feel good. And when you identify the emotions that you value the most, it helps you to realize that you have to be the source of your own happiness. You cannot rely on any other human being to give you that peace and that joy and that happiness, that true happiness that only should come from within. What your spouse, your children, your best friends, what they do is they add to the happiness that you already have. Remember, it's whole people coming together. It shouldn't just have to be in a relationship with husband and wife, girlfriend, boyfriend. It should also be in just female friends or male friends. You got you can, look, here we go. You can have some friends that you know you should cut loose because they are not healthy for you. And that goes for family members too. So, hey, that's another topic for another episode. But as we get ready to wrap up this episode, a few other things I want you to take away from this episode is to choose you. If you have never done that before, sit in the mirror and say, today I choose me. The me God created. So that is no mistake. The me that the world is waiting on. The me that your husband and sisters and family is waiting on. Your children. And as I always do, if you have to try to rediscover who that is or you having problems, reach out to me. I'm a coach. I'm a life coach, and I'll be happy to help you walk through some of those things if you need that. I know a bunch of other life coaches if I'm not that one who can help you. I deal with it on a life coaching system, but then there are therapists, the ones who really work with you to help you manage and move through where you are and what you have in a different way. They dig deeper into why you do certain things consciously and subconsciously. So I'm not pretending to be a therapist, but I know a whole lot of bad sisters out there who can help you navigate this thing called life, a life that we should be living and not just existing in. Because in a world where you can be anyone, be yourself. I'm excited to take this journey with you. Coming up on the Path Podcast this year, you will have some more bold women coming in, telling their stories, how they came, their survival guides to coming through whatever they had to come through, starting businesses. overcoming illnesses and just major life events that sometimes we don't think about. I still want to bring a lot of women coming in to tell how they became truly their authentic selves, coming into the version of themselves. So if you got a story and you want to share it, please don't forget to connect with me here and all the other bold women that come on the Path Podcast. I look forward to working with you in 2023 because we have a lot of exciting things happening. And I will continue to share as the year goes on. I'm praying everyone have a blessed, healthy, happy year. And I live day by day, and I thank God every day. So every day is like a new year for me. I just don't celebrate in the January 1st. It's just that catalyst to start things new again. But every day I wake up, it's a new day, and I'm thankful for it. And I'm thankful for each one of you. Because the one thing I love to say on the Path Podcast, my crown is not complete until every woman wears her crown proudly. Until next time, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for hanging with us. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and other platforms, so you can stay up on our bi-weekly, real conversations with these bold women. You can follow the Path Podcast on Facebook at the Path Podcast and on Instagram and Twitter at the Path_podcast. And if you would like to be a guest on the show or have questions for a future show, you can email us at thepath4ward@gmail.com. That's thepathforward@gmail.com. And if you're looking for a speaker or you're in need of a life coach, please reach out to me again at thepathforward@gmail.com or at ACKORLEH@gmail.com. Thank you. Until next time.